前面这个地方是一个军事堡垒，它叫做 Fort William Henry， 它是1755年到1757年建的。看到没有？它这个外墙啊，整个这个堡垒的外面的墙全部是用这个木头做的。那个木头呢，就好像是那个电线杆的那种木头，非常的粗壮。这个城堡里面呢有一段故事，这个是当年法国人跟这个印第安人还有英国人他们互相作战的地方。这个都是在美国建国之前的一段历史了。今天我订了下午的这个票，我进去看一看。这是那个古堡的大门，看到没有？上面写的 Fort William Henry， 1755年、1757年。我在网上订了一个4点钟的票，现在还有20分钟。你看这古堡的外墙全部是木头做的，然后呢还有炮口，上面有这个英国的国旗。前面还有几门鼓炮。OK， 现在进去瞧瞧。现在是进了大门，有一些装饰品，然后前面应该是礼品店。这边是介绍这个古堡的历史 ，acknowledgement。哇，这地方还有一个展览馆，展示当年的一些留下来的东西。这快300年了。你看这房子的壁炉。哇！他们当时使用的一些，应该是武器吧。还有一些枪。这应该是一些工作的器具。这上面还有2楼啊。这叫做 English Indian Pattern Musket， 不晓得是不是叫毛瑟枪啊？ 这个是衣服上面的八狗，还有一些扣子，这应该是个指挥刀吧，还有一些刺刀。这应该是当时这个法国人的军服，毛瑟枪，这就是城堡里面整个里面这个样子，给大家拍一下。全部是那种木头造的，那个时候应该还没有什么水泥啊、砖啊，所以他们就地取材，在这个哈森 River 两边找的这些木头盖的这个碉堡。这里有一些穿的古时候军服的这些人，在这个地方可能有一些表演吧。看这旁边还有一些旧的炮，这都是200-300年的这个炮，都已经锈成这个样子了。上面应该就是防御敌人的一些地方，底下呢，大概就住了人。
A thick leather thumb sleeve instead. I'm also blocking the flow of oxygen with my hand over the vent hole there, so that way he doesn't set the gun off prematurely. This is a bronze cannon. This is my iron gun pick. I would not use an iron pick on an iron gun. That could create a spark. Metals of different densities do not produce sparks. What I'm doing is creating a pathway for the priming charge. Now usually at this stage, you have a man with a powder horn. Prime this cannon off, set it off relatively quickly. You could also use goose quills. They make great pens, they also make great fuses. They're just hollow tubes. You split them up, fill them up with gunpowder, seal them up with beeswax. Makes a great tube. The problem with that though is, I don't want to have to go out and catch a goose. They're very territorial and very mean. So I have to prime it myself. Now my gunner has secured his linstock. It is a Dutch word for matchstick. That is going to give him the reach to touch off this thing without being taken out by recoil, which there will not be because we do not fire a cannonball. There's going to be 3 commands. First one is take care. That tells all the gun crews around to take care, to listen up. Next is going to be make ready. That's when he's going to light the linstock. At that point, you may want to plug an ear or open up your mouth a little bit. That will equalize the pressure to your head. And then that final command, we give fire. This is gentleman's war, and we are not savages. We do not just fire like barbarians. We give fire, the enemy shall receive fire. We must be polite about it. Now this is a cannon. I will give you a warning though. We do not know how loud this cannon is going to be. Get a range of volumes. You can get anything from a loud crack, which sets off car alarms, bounces off the mountains, to that noise your uncle makes on Thanksgiving when he tells you to pull his finger. Anything from a very loud explosion to a passing wind. Here we go though. 3 commands. Take care, make ready, and give fire.
Oh my God.
Not bad at all. How about a round of applause for me, Ghana?
it has a technical name. Its technical name is, are you ready for it? English land pattern 75 caliber smoothbore flintlock musket. Do we feel like saying English land pattern 75 caliber smoothbore flintlock musket over and over again? No, that's too much to say. That's a mouthful, right? You've all dealt with teenagers before, right? Crude humor, cracking of jokes. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. They're gonna call this the Brown Bess. Now, why are they gonna call this thing the Brown Bess? Well, one, you're dealing with teenagers, right? And everything in the natural world is commonly brown. You would have seen brown everywhere in the natural world. Is there any, oh, aha! You, ma'am, you're wearing purple, the most expensive dye for this time period. This is a very rich and powerful woman. You too, ma'am. Yeah, you're very rich and powerful. Yeah, you married into the right family. Yeah, you better do what she says. You know, otherwise she might tell me to give her the musket. So yeah, very rich and powerful ladies indeed. Yes, the most expensive dye in my time period is purple. Brown was a common color, and you wouldn't crack a good joke on the battlefield to keep the morale and spirits up, not only yourselves, but the men to the left of you and the right of you in the field of battle. This is how we fight in battles in the 18th century, is lining up in rows and columns in my time period. So you take a bullet to the chest like a real man. Yeah, wonderful times to be alive. So you guys ready to fire this thing off or what? I am too, I love firing this thing off. So this musket right here, we would have had these pre-made charges made beforehand, before battle. Usually made by children or myself. Yeah, in the 18th century, we would give kids balls of lead and gunpowder and paper to put together. New York State calls it child abuse. I call it a learning curve, not a cell phone in sight, just men living in the moment. I would be biting this thing open, but as you guys will learn today, the hygiene here is absolutely terrible. Welcome to Fort William Henry, one of the most poopiest, peepiest, smelliest forts. That is a standard operating procedure in the 18th century to make all of your forts the most poopiest, peepiest, smelliest place ever. So yeah, as you guys will learn later on in the museum tour, if you join me down there, this place really unhygienic. I'm just gonna keep my mouth off everything here today at Fort William Henry. Yeah, it just boggles my mind how Lake George is still voted North America's cleanest lake still to this very day. It's almost kind of a sick joke as to how much poop and pee is in there and how many people, I'm serious, to give you a good example, are bathing right there, 500 British soldiers all taking a bath in the lake while they're pooping and peeing in the lake on the latrines on the military dock right there. Yeah, it gets pretty unsanitary here. So I don't want to be the reason why some 18th century horror is alive and well once again, you know, smallpox, dysentery, diphtheria, who knows what. So we'll keep my mouth off everything here. We'll be dumping some gunpowder down inside the tube. We call this the tube. Yeah, we're great at naming things in my time period apparently. Now, if you guys won't be able to see it, but on the other side of the northern barracks, we do have a brand spanking new window. We used to use real live ammunition. The kids loved it. They thought it was awesome. But I'm not allowed to do that anymore. As I'm told, I have to use blank fiber wads. It's bad for tourism. So we'll be using this to get the same noise and sound effect of a real live musket going off. It won't be as loud as the cannon. That charge was made by yours truly, So, oh yeah, I have a good handle and experience as to how powerful gunpowder could be. I always like to give everyone a bang for their buck, no pun intended. So there you go. All right, so now we got the ramrod had set down the musket ball. Now we're ready to prime the pan. This mechanism right here is called the cock. Nothing to do with my teenage immaturity or mentality. Get your minds out of the gutter. Simply it's called this because it looks like the profile of a rooster holding a piece of flint in its beak. That is it, nothing more. This is the coining of your term half-cocked. Notice the weapon will not fire in this position. So I would have this thing filled to the brim with gunpowder, but New York State Legislature says, Samuel Willard, that's too much gunpowder for you to have upon your person. You'll be too explosive to be around all these men, women, and children. So I'll be using another one of my historically inaccurate shotgun shell cartridges. There we go. We'll be leaving it in the half-cocked position, and we're going to prime the pan. Now, while I'm reloading and firing my musket, I'm supposed to be able to do this with you all 2 to 3 times a minute. I probably would have been what by now? Dead. Yeah, you get to be dead a lot in the 18th century, apparently. Being dead is very common. I would have had 25 to 40 commands, but let's break it down to 3. Make ready, present. Notice I did not say aim. I said present. We are presenting our muskets to the enemy over there. To take deadly precision aim would make you guilty of the sin of murder, right? So if you're presenting, well, I didn't shoot that guy. Somebody did. God only knows. It's God's will should the musket ball hit somebody. It's clearly not my fault, so I'm innocent. And also, finally, and lastly, give fire. We give fire. The enemy receives fire. Then we await the enemy's fire. You take a bullet to the chest like a real man. What a wonderful time to be alive, right? Right. All right, are you guys ready? Make ready. Present. Cookie. Fire. All right, what color was that smoke? Bluish white. Some people try to convince me it's brown. No, it's white. That is the fog of war. This fog of war envelops the battlefield. It's very hard to see through this fog of war. Imagine, if you will, a big white cloud wafting all over you guys, right?